pressure to allow him up and up because the time is up.
I think in the time as an organization contesting the SRC, for sure you are often viewed that you are going to represent the interest of students. As an organization, for a person to go there, I think that I cannot assist you because you belong to other organizations. That person must report the person. For sure, if you are an organization, you will feel that this person couldn't assist a student because he belongs there or other or whatever. That person, we are saying he must be recalled. But this person was 2000, I'm sure what that is or something. Which 2009. Makes another system economy. Which what to one at all was a air hard. But mine is to say
just let's indulge you.
Mine is to say if the person can be reported, and an organization I want to record. The organization that's what we contesting the election because it's a full with organization, the phone of the student. But this person must be recalled because I am him to my own student. Number two,
please.
Number two, if you know who is going to I'm a student, I want to have Red Bull and SRC. Boy, I'm standing, hasn't died.
Why do you smile when you say that?
I'm a student, must be taught. Students, that's why if you find SRC program, if you go to SRC program, you'll find t-shirts like, I'm not sure Conan Kobe. I even an emblem of any Red Bull on the side, but even a local SRC or whatsoever. Not any Red Bull, because the program of this independent board government.
All right, the point is clear.
Also, when we go to vote, students, we are going to have the class in the white vote, how to vote on them. It's because abantu advertise ofanele basimakethele ukuthi namhlanje bayavota namhlanje abantu abafunde bafundisa ama-students pattern the student card or identity whatever must call all students every time to tell them. You will find that they call 21 but there are 10 students there. There's not enough advertisement or marketing.
I think you've made the point. Okay, we've been down. Please, now.
Thank you,
Mr. Banyanga, sir, can you bring us to a close on this matter? So come to
to a close,
yes,
hopefully.
We defer to your wisdom.
Wisdom. Who dog is pretty behind the I did protection. All right. It's been nice for me to actually just listen and not actually actively participate. But what I've noticed is that we're going around in circles. First of all, the proposal of the usage of organizations, it sounds incomplete. What we're doing, we're saying organizations, no organizations, organizations, no organizations, there's no progress. There's a couple of things that I've pointed out though. The first one is a concern around the recalling issue. So if, in terms of moving forward, we need to clarify the issue of the recalling because that seems to be abused, although the organization thing might be a good thing. So we need to think about that. And the other thing is this differentiation between the SRC and the ruling party, the so-called ruling party. There is a feeling as well in the House that I get, Yoguti, when you want to put this, what you call, you are endorsing that type of a lack of differentiation between the SRC, which is a neutral representation of what you call...
Which is supposed to represent all students.
All students, and representing a few, because there is those feelings. So if you can clarify that as well. Now, the other thing that has been spoken about is that although some of the people are saying, no, let's not doing, and the others are saying, let's doing, the others also feel, hey, it has been happening anyway. But now, if you want to do it, you're more or less like legalizing this issue. It has been wrong, but you're now saying let's do it legally. Let's formalize that the SRC will represent a certain few. Now, I am saying if you can actually put these few points to rest only by specifically saying practically this is what you're going to do to make sure that does not happen, to lay down the fears. Lastly, the other thing that this will do is obviously impact on the greater part of the current constitution that we're proposing, even the previous constitution for that matter. We're not saying anything about those things. So that's why I'm saying I feel like the conversation is actually just going back and forth, back and forth. There is no progress. If you can clarify those issues, perhaps maybe even those that don't agree might agree, or those who are for the idea might withdraw and say, let's not move this direction. I want to leave it at that.
My last one is just to assist us. Guys, I'm trying to be as neutral as possible. I'm giving the information because the times I deal directly with the contentious issues of elections. I just want to relate to the one that suggested the reason you got so less numbers there and so less numbers there. The current constitution as it stands, it was deliberate that the voting was put on the fourth quarter. Now when you look at the calendar, the fourth quarter is actually the exams. The time the commission suggests on the dates of manifestos and whatever, we are suggesting on the days where students are actually working on groups, preparing for exams. Again, certain people enjoy this moment because you limit a number of people that can come to vote and whatever. And then it's just barricaded to the few that understand. And you limit democracy for students. So I'm just saying, again, the other tedious thing that has been affecting the process of elections is not only that apparently the students have, also it's a timing of elections because as it stands, elections must take place on the fourth quarter, of which there's a start of exams. I've been unpopular for the last few years trying to push the process earlier and only wait for the actual voting day. Let me be just 1 week before the actual regular results. If I was a student that was academically successful, the week before my exam, I sit with my friends, with my colleagues to finalize that I know everything. And those few students that really will know the G17 route will come through and still participate. So that's a challenge we have.
Okay, thank you, friends.
And just one thing, one other thing, Doc, that's not clear is the issue of the seats. We're talking about the seats. And there seems to be an assumption that the organizations will run for certain seats, the exact seats. But that's not said. So we need to clarify whether the organizations will actually contest the presidency, for example, contest for secretary, or are these organizations running for the numbers and thereafter the same process of allocation of positions, or do we employ another process of allocation of positions?
It goes back to what we said.
It impacts on...
impact on what we have agreed upon already.
Sure.
Because remember, the allocation of seats is done afterwards. You see, there's various permutations, there's various ways you can have organizations running as organizations for an election. There's various permutations that you can do there. But it's very important that if you do decide to go that route, make it simple. Don't make it a very complex thing. Ensure that abuse can be minimized. Because what we don't want an SRC that is going to end up being dysfunctional. Suppose we all agree, we say, okay, we're going to have organizations also contesting, let's say, for the elections, and they have the power to recall a person they had deployed, and so forth and so forth. You must make sure that you minimize the chances of the system being abused, and the functioning of the SRC becoming dysfunctional, which means it does not really function. And who suffers at the end of the day? It's the students. So you must think about that. You must think about that. We need to, we've heard lots of views. There's a lot of these questions which Mr. Manyanga said, if they are clarified, maybe a lot of people fears will be allayed. And people maybe will feel, okay, no, then this thing doesn't seem to be such a monster as I thought it was. Can you remind us, sir, the thing that you noted?
Okay, it's the recalling issue. If you can maybe elaborate on the recalling or whether it will happen or not, and if it does happen, under what circumstances does it happen, and the process that is followed, and the specific seats, voting of, contesting of the seats by the organization. Is it specific seats like?
You mean portfolios?
Portfolios, yes.
Okay.
Or do they just vote for seats in terms of the numbers that we, out of the 17, Red Bulls, I almost mentioned it, Red Bulls may be contesting and win maybe 7, and then it will be decided later what portfolios they will hold. And okay, and then this issue is very difficult to prove for anybody, but it does happen. We know it does happen. The differentiation between the SRC and Red Bulls, once the Red Bulls have won, which I think Upagati and Umkhize have spoken, both of them have spoken on this issue. And he tried to clarify as well, and even suggested that matters of that nature should be reported. Where an SRC, or where it is alleged or felt to SRC is only assisting Red Bulls because he was voted for by the Red Bulls and not by the Blue Bulls, and therefore not wanting to assist the Blue Bulls, student.
How can, whatever system we eventually hope for, we must plug the holes of abuse. But remember, at the end of the day, there is a limit to how much we can actually plug certain abuses. You know, if somebody abuses, then you have to bring proof and so forth and so forth and so forth. It's very, very important that we limit those.
In regards, whoever's clarifying the implications of the recalling in regards to violations that we've spoken about that have become quite an issue. What recalling means about the effect of that of the violations process.
It makes it very complicated. Let us not make, at the end of the day, whatever we decide upon, it should not complicate the SRC constitution. It should function, it should be simple but effective, and it should function effective. We don't want a convoluted constitution which is going to make things extremely, extremely difficult. Okay? How do we move forward? I believe T is ready. Let's skip T.
With your permission, may I proceed?
Thank you.
Now,
But be fast, because we've got lots of other things to do.
yes,
And we already half of the morning is gone now.
on the issue of seats, the current provisions of this constitution do not say that you contest a particular position, and that should be maintained. It's going to be maintained, or should be maintained.
So you are proposing we should not contest for portfolios.
Portfolios is
Okay. Keeps it simple, yeah.
keeps it simple.
Yeah.
Contest the number of seats.
Of seats, yeah. Keeps
And,
it simple.
and there's the current provision that says that you allocate portfolios, the SRC allocates portfolios itself, they vote amongst themselves. Keep it as it is.
Keeps it simple.
Keep it simple. The issue of recalling and whatnot, that you maintain, because the process of the dissolution of the SRC doesn't allow it to be open to abuse. I think people can just peruse through the constitution on the dissolution of the SRC. It is a very complicated process and which goes through. So it doesn't allow space for abuse. Obviously,
What we decided upon this time I'm going to read for you what we decided upon, the question of you may sit. Termination of individual SRC membership. This is what we agreed upon last time. An individual's membership of the SRC shall be terminated on the following grounds. When the member's registration as a student of the university ceases. You get that, né? The second one, we said, when the member tenders a written resignation and it is accepted by the SRC,